Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all. Once again, you are welcome here on your platform. Much loved, the platform for awakening consciousness. So, this is the headline of international news. It's the headline of news on the African continent. It's news that made us laugh a lot. It makes many laugh, and it left us perplexed. It left us speechless. This accusation that Nigeria is making against the ECOWAS states, I really don't understand the basis of this accusation, and I'm not the only one who doesn't understand. Many don't even understand the basis of this accusation. In your turn, you will tell me at the end of this video conference if you understand the basis of this accusation. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have before us a state like Nigeria, which, at the head of the famous institution called ECOWAS, had at one point risen here to decide to send military contingents to Niger in order to overthrow Abdou's regime, Amanchani, and restore Mohamed Bazoum to power. We have seen all the struggles we have waged here, all the struggles that have been nature, prevented this ECOWAS, led by Niger, Côte d'Ivoire, and Senegal. We stopped them from committing the wrongdoing on the side of Niger. Today, Niger has definitively withdrawn from ECOWAS. Today, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali are on a path that is very, very frightening, as their internal organization is significant. They are organizing themselves very well. Their population is proud of them. In terms of the fight against terrorism, they are battling. And this is where Nigeria steps out. To directly accuse the three AES countries and warn them. So what is it about exactly? It concerns a statement made by the Chief of the General Staff, a certain Musa, whom you can see here. A certain Musa. So, it is this accusation that we will discuss in this video conference. But before continuing, I ask you to share this video conference. And I insist because lately, many refuse to share our video conferences, and this greatly affects our visibility. Sharing the video conference without me prompting you is your contribution. So, if I don't get tired of being here, you too, never get tired of sharing the video conference. Let's dive deeper. Give it a lot of likes and especially post our political slogan. Daring is already winning. That's what it's about. So, let's dive deeper. Let's go. In the depths, what do we see? Allow me to quickly find out. It's both laughable and pitiable for an Africa that must awaken, that must move forward, whose sons must remain united. His name is Christopher Musa. One wonders if Christopher Musa has become a politician, a vassal to the globalist oligarchy. Musa, Christopher, warns Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger about a significant loss. And the Chief of Defense Staff of Nigeria, Christopher Musa, warned that if indeed Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso did not return to democracy, the country could suffer considerable losses. Ha, ha, ha. That is to say, he warns Mali, Burkina, and Niger that if they do not return to democracy, Nigeria will have enormous, considerable losses. Maranatha, share this video conference with me, please. Share it as much as possible. Yes, everything without worry. All Nigeria wishes is that these three countries must return to democracy. Because for them, the fact that they are not in democracy, according to him, is greatly affecting Nigeria. That is to say, it is not affecting their own country, but the neighboring Nigeria. And on what level does it play? In which field? Maranatha. No, the miraculous African? Let's go. share this video conference. All Africans must see this video conference. Share it. I want thousands of shares for this video conference. Yes, you can do it. If 200 people sharing, each person shares in two groups. How many shares do we already have? Share as much as possible. So, he says that if Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger do not return to democracy, the country could suffer considerable losses. He continues, these three West African countries have been under military rule for a few years. They also left the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and formed an alliance of Sahel states in September 2023. Musa emphasized that the leadership failures in these countries directly affect Nigeria. He says that the failures of leadership in these countries directly affect Nigeria. Yes, it directly affects Nigeria, exacerbating issues such as poverty, climate change, and governance instability. This is what they accuse the AES states of. They say in the various AES countries, there is no leadership. There is a leadership failure, and this leadership failure is creating problems in Niger. And it doesn't create problems for them. But it's in Nigeria, at least I was going to say, it creates problems in Nigeria. It is leading to poverty there. As if it were the AUs managing their country. If the old sleeper, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is no longer able to manage your country, he needs to be put out. It's very simple. You have to tell him the truth. How does the AES lead to poverty in Nigeria? He continues, he says, it leads to problems related to climate change. But listen, it's because they are not in ECOWAS that it causes climate problems for them in Nigeria. He continues by saying it leads to governance instability. Yeah, that's the plan. Governance in Nigeria will be unstable. Not only in Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Nigerian authorities, not only in your country, the existence of the AES leads to governance instability all over the African continent. Especially when you have heads of state who are not patriotic, who only think of their own interests, self-centered and selfish, very, very selfish. The population will rise up. Your youth will rise up because your youth clearly sees what is happening in the AES. How do the leaders of the AES have a religious respect for our population? How are the leaders of the AES investing themselves wholeheartedly to fund major projects within their territory? The construction of solar power plants to supply us to provide electricity everywhere. The construction of nuclear power plants and everything that follows. You are facing great reformers. But if in your country you don't have reformers, you only have freeloaders who are there to suck the people's money. What do you want the citizens to do? However, today, the world has become a global village. What happens in the AES is known instantly by those on the other side in Nigeria and everywhere else. And when the youth rise up to demand from you, to demand from the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu good governance, why does it bother you? If you were providing good governance, the youth would never rise up like this. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the headline of the news. We are awaiting the response from the AES authorities. Certainly they will respond. But all we can ask of you, share as much as possible and leave your various opinions in the comments. The more comments you leave, the stronger the video becomes. And the more many of our fellow Africans and compatriots will have the opportunity to watch our video conference and receive the information, to understand what is happening around us. So, all that remains is for me to say thank you to each and every one of you. I will be back with you shortly, by the grace of God the Almighty, with new updates. This was the voice of your one and only Samurai,